everybody? Richard Neese here with Weicker Realtors and Space Place. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Real Estate Rundown. As you can see, I've got my favorite guest on, the guy that's appeared the most times, maybe more than me, I think.
Possible. It's quite possible.
We got Dominic Gill here. We appreciate you guys jumping on. Chris Logan, Francis Gill, Jason Grimmett, Dominic Gill, Buddy Beaver. Thank you guys so much for getting on here. The Real Estate Rundown is a way for us to help good people get to a better place. You got some people over there?
Kevin Knight, Kathy Gray. Yeah, that's what we got.
You're good. So,
Yeah,
so
we're good,
we're
we're
running
good.
off XSplit today. It's a little bit different than usual. You guys won't notice that much difference.
Back to the old way. Back to the old way. The
That's
good
right.
old way. So.
That's right. So the Real Estate Rundown is a way for us to help good people get to a better place. We got Teresa, Katie, Randy on here. We want to give you guys information about the real estate market. We want to give you information about buying, about selling. If you're an investor, if you're a real estate junkie, you want to buy something on the courthouse steps, we want to give you that information. If you need to know about home insurance, home inspectors, social media marketing, we're going to try and bring somebody on. We've had not tax assessors. We've had revenue commissioners on here.
Yeah,
We've
not
had,
tax assessors.
Maybe so.
He does assess somebody, some kind of taxes. He does
That's true.
assess,
That's
yeah.
true. We've had all sorts of folks on here. We've had builders. We've had investors, people that have rental properties. Pretty much anything you can imagine or name, we've had them on here.
No, pretty much, except for appraisers. We are not allowed to have appraisers.
That's very true. They will not come on here.
Yeah, they're not allowed to come on the show. We've tried multiple times, and we finally got an explanation when we reached out to one. He's like, I can't do it, and this is why, and no one else can either. So, yeah, no appraisers.
That's right. So we got a bunch of folks jumping on. Robin Barnett. We've got Dina Johnson, Clayton Bodley, Jessica Pettis, William Wren, Shane Ray. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please share. Please comment. If you have a question about real estate in general.
Yeah,
gentlemen,
okay.
we want to answer it for you. We want to be able to give you guys that information. If we can't answer it, we'll bring on an expert that can answer it for you. We'll get that information. I've been talking with folks about investing in multifamily today, first-time home buying $500,000, $1 million homes. I mean, pretty much the gamut of real estate. Tax sales, we were talking about that. There's tons of stuff that goes on in the daily life of a realtor.
Property for new construction.
That's right, property for new, not just normal construction. I was talking to a guy about barn dominiums. I mean, just all sorts of things that you guys might have questions about, and we're here to fill that stuff for you.
They're not even homes.
What makes a home, Dominic?
It's a joke. It's an old joke that back in my days at another real estate company that we had going on in there. So I just had to go and say it out loud.
So some of your old real estate buddies on here? Is that what's going on?
No, we did that skit about with the Nick Saban thing.
Oh yeah.
Barn dominiums aren't even homes.
Got them saying that the picture is frozen. Can you check on that and see what's going on with it? If anybody else has any issues, please comment. We'll try and get that fixed. Typically, this system takes a little bit more data bandwidth. I really don't know the right term, but it makes it a little bit slower when we're doing things. So hopefully, it won't bog us down too much. You know, today during the radio show, which we have at 10 a.m. on WKUL, we were talking about a scenario that happened, a situation where I was on Facebook with all my Facebook peeps, and I saw where somebody had asked for some help from a realtor. And it's pretty common. You'll have the recommendations. They'll get on a yard sale post or something like that and say, hey, anybody have any recommendations? Who's a good realtor in this area? Whatever the case might be. Well, this one happened to be out of Decatur, which is an area we cover. But they were asking about realtors in Coleman County. And so if I got on there and asked, what usually happens if I say, hey, I need some help finding a realtor?
Usually get about 20 tags from different realtors, from different people.
And we appreciate that too.
Oh,
you know, people that,
yeah.
that give the confidence saying, we recommend this person, they did a great job for us. Sometimes it's,
hey, that's my cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my
cousin.
It's my uncle. Or, hey, this is the only real estate agent I know,
yeah.
and I have to give a recommendation.
And I've never done business with them, but they could be terrible or could be great. I don't know. We're just going to throw it out there.
Yeah, so people they have the need to go and have to express that, which is great. Community reaching out to help people. But, you know, sometimes people don't quite understand the ins and outs of the real estate process, and I'll let you continue on.
I had one of my good friends, Jeff Taylor, jump on here, and he was actually texting me. We got Marcus Necessary. Thanks for getting on here. Stephanie Russell, Charles Clemens, Zach Wilson. What were you saying? I lost my place.
Oh, I was just basically saying that they're all wishing well for everybody, basically.
Sure, yeah.
And even though they're trying to go and look for a property inside of another market that's outside of where most of these people are tagged at, most people don't realize exactly how being a real estate agent works and the MLS.
That's right.
And that doesn't stand for Major League Soccer.
And Dominic's stealing.
It does stand for it in one term, but it also stands for the multiple
and
listing
Dominic's
services.
stealing all my points from the show from earlier, but that's okay. He likes to take over a little bit. But I still love him. So you're right. So you're right. We had I had like 30 people that responded on there, giving out realtors, but I would say maybe 2 or 3 actually gave realtors that service that area.
Right.
Now we live in the state of Alabama.
Gotcha.
So
we got Kyle on here, we got Ethan on here.
So you can actually
Jeanette.
sell throughout
Yes.
Alabama, but that doesn't mean that I'm the best fit for you. Let's say in Montgomery or Birmingham, South Birmingham, maybe not on the west coast of Alabama, or the east coast of Alabama. Because we have coastlines here.
Yeah, yeah.
I just got back from the
The
Bahamas.
west
You guys got to
and
give
the
me a
east
little...
border of Alabama.
That's right. That's right. Brett Campbell, Megan Hollingsworth, Jeanette, Molly Atkins, Ethan Ponder. Thank you guys. But there's several factors that play into it, and one of them is the MLS, like Dominic was talking about. Well, there you go. Jeff is just messing. We're trying to put together a deal right now. Thanks, Jeff, Mr. Taylor. I appreciate that. But what we end up having is you have people that specialize in certain areas, people that specialize in certain properties. So you may have somebody that works specifically on the lake.
Yeah.
That's where their network is. That's what their marketing is geared towards. They may be a much better fit than another agent who lives 5 miles away and works in that local town, but they're not working the lake. So there's so many different skill sets, and there's a lot of great realtors out there that can help you. But please interview. Please make sure they're the right fit for you. Because if you have a random realtor that's 60, 70 miles north of here that doesn't have MLS access, but they can sell in the state of Alabama, they may end up, and you see this all the time, especially when you were a realtor before, where they come in with a buyer and they give way too much for what the property is. And yes, it appraises. Everybody knows about appraisals. But it may appraise for that amount, but it's not a good buy for that buyer.
Absolutely.
And those end up calling me back. Are you good now?
Yeah, I'm good. So, random thought, completely unrelated.
So that may be okay. They may be getting in this house to begin with, but when they call me in 2 or 3 years and they're upside down on their mortgage because their house really wasn't worth as much as that appraiser said, or the market value wasn't there, that's when it really hurts that buyer. So please make sure that you have an agent that's going to protect your interest, that has a local knowledge of the market, and also that has MLS access. Because what's important about the MLS, Dominic?
What's important about it?
Tell people what the MLS is first, and then how the resources that agents use those resources.
Well, the MLS is, of course, it stands for Multiple Listing Services, as I said before. Basically, it's a pool in which all the agents put all the information on these houses that's specifically for agents, so that whenever someone lists a house, they don't have to call a Richard just to get the basic information of saying, hey, look, we passed by your house, we saw the sign, how big is it, what does the inside look like? They have all that information. That way the agent can go through and find out the right information so they can service their customer or client to the best of their ability. So they pull together and they form, basically, it's like a club. Basically,
it's a community. It's a professional community.
Yeah, an association. So they each
that's what they call it. The
association.
Hey, so you're onto something there.
Hey, that's a good word for it. But they form these associations, and then they pull all their listings together, and they subscribe to that service.
Yeah, and they want to protect that information and make sure it's good data. I want to give a quick
and protect
shout
public privacy too.
Public privacy. We want to protect that data. I want to give a shout out to GTT. Good Time Tommy's on here. We appreciate it. And if you guys didn't know, he is one of the inspirations of the Real Estate Rundown.
Absolutely. We saw his show over almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, it has been.
Close to 2 years ago.
We were inspired, and we said, Tommy, we're going to borrow your show.
And we went up there. We had a meeting with him and talked to him, get some ideas going on.
And I want to give him credit. Tommy does a great job. If you're up in the Murfreesboro area, definitely give him a call. He can help you with property. He does a lot of good things up there. We appreciate you getting on here. Rita Collette. We got Danielle Phillips, Holly Adams, Jacob Waldrop, Ricky Scott, Penny Johnson. Thank you guys so much for getting on here. Please like, please share, please comment. We want to get feedback from you guys. We want to get that engagement because we do want to answer the questions that you might have. If you guys don't want to put it out there on a public forum, you can always Facebook message us, and we'll try and help any way we can. Because that's the whole point of the Real Estate Rundown. Right. It's not to sell my listings. It's not to work on buyers. We want to give you guys the information necessary to become an informed buyer. Because like you always say, it's better for everybody if we have informed buyers.
Right.
It protects their interests. It makes realtors' jobs easier because now you can actually go out and look for property instead of educating on the front end.
And it helps protect the market.
Absolutely.
It helps protect house prices and everything that goes along with it.
That's exactly right. So you've got the MLS, which is a bunch of data compiled that's protected. You protect the interest of the consumer, protect their data as far as who has the house listed. But it also does a thing. It allows us to compile it and to study that market data. Would you agree?
Absolutely, yes.
So when you study the market data, you can tell which way the market's trending, and that's how we do our pricing on houses. Is if this house is trending up, you don't want to take a snapshot of right now what it's worth. You want to see what it's worth 2 weeks from now, a month from now. That could dramatically change, and so you want to price on the front end of that market, not on the back end, and try and catch it.
Absolutely. Thanks, GT. We definitely need to hit you up on that.
It's going good, brother. It's good. We'll have to. I'll holler at you about that sometime soon. We're making some big strides. We're helping a lot of people because that's what it's about, helping good people get to a better place. But I appreciate you asking about it. So we've got, obviously we're talking about having MLS access. Market knowledge is huge. You want to have somebody that has not just the knowledge from the MLS, but also houses that maybe weren't listed on the MLS that sold. And a good agent can get into the tax assessment. They can see what deeds, what they sold for, pricing like that. And then you also have the network, which is huge. I know Tommy's big on that. You want to make sure that network is a wide-ranging.
And it's very important, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there have been a lot of times, and any realtor that's done it for an amount of time knows, there's a lot of times where people don't necessarily want to put a sign in their yard, but they might sell it. I've connected buyers and sellers without ever having a listing agreement or anything. We connect that way. A commission's paid out. It was the perfect fit because I knew my client, and then my network reached out far enough to know these people would sell if they, maybe they're looking to move to the lake or the beach or something like that, but they weren't quite ready. Well, if the right offer is presented, they're going to be ready.
Absolutely.
And I just had one of my clients tell me, hey, I love these 2 houses. They're not listed. Can you go ask those folks if they might be interested? Absolutely, we'll do it because you never know until you ask.
Yeah, and then there's always having a network that people come up to you and just say, hey, man, if you know of anybody who's interested in a house, not ready to put on the market, but whatever comes up down the road. And I've had that happen to me many times. I still have it happen to me. Sure. And I'll just pass it on to you. I'm like, hey, man, you know anybody?
No, that's exactly right. So you can catch them early on in the process. And sometimes you got folks that are willing to do, you don't have to do all the updates on like rental properties and things like that. We're willing to take it as is because somebody may either want to put a renter in there or they may want to do the rehab stuff. They may want to put their own flair on it. Randy, I appreciate it, brother. Tommy said, Dominic, the technology is great. We need to steal some. Hey man,
look, I'm an open book. I'll be happy to help you with anything on there. You and Kathleen and everything, whatever information I have, man, it's
Tommy,
open for y'all.
You need to talk to Tim Knox on here too. Tim's got a lot of great ideas. He's in the Huntsville market as well.
Absolutely.
So holler at him. You guys should connect as well. We're open to sharing ideas because at the end of the day, it's about helping folks. It's not about commissions. It's not about sales. It's about really making an impact on people's lives.
100%, yes, sir.
I know you agree with that. So, Rita Collette, I think I already hollered at her. I appreciate you guys so much. Please like, please share, please comment. We're working on, we talked about the experience. No, we didn't talk about experience.
Oh, no, we did not. We did not. That was kind of like the main theme of our show.
Is that what the title was?
Some. It's very, very similar to something along those lines.
So you need the network. You need market knowledge. But there's questions as far as should I have an experienced agent? Should I have a new agent? On the buying side, on the listing side, there is no one right answer.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are pros and cons to each. You need to find what's going to fit best with you because I'll tell you, working with brand new agents can be just as great as working with experienced agents.
Absolutely.
Each brings a different aspect to the table, and Tommy will tell you this, or Tim, or any of these. Sometimes it's network. Sometimes it's knowing what to do from experience. This is a solution I can provide. This is a tool I can use. Sometimes it's a matter of them just being focused on you and solely you. Some clients want that. It just depends on what level of service you want, how much personal attention you want. Because some people are happy with when you see something pop up, send it to me, we're good. Some people want updates every day. So there's all sorts of different, and we compared experienced agents and talked about the pros. What's a benefit of having experienced agents?
The benefit of having an experienced agent is to tap into all those things you just talked about, tapping into their network, tapping into their market knowledge, tapping into all the things that make of kind of being seasoned. And when it comes down to negotiating, and believe me, there's a lot of things that go behind closed doors in the real estate office in negotiating.
Easy about how you say that now.
Well, you know what I mean. Behind what everybody sees going on there. I'm sure there's other stuff that goes behind closed doors too. But main thing on that is that you want someone who's going to be very, very stable and is a seasoned negotiator for you.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean an experienced agent will get that, but you're more likely to get that.
In the real estate world. But I've had people that come in and maybe they were a salesperson in another field before, and this is their first time in real estate, and they're excellent at negotiating. They understand how human emotions factor into that, and that is, I would say, the most important thing to understand if you want to negotiate well. You have to understand the value of time and the value of emotions.
Absolutely.
When to use them and when not to, because there is no standard practice of you just can't be emotional. Sometimes emotions can help.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes it can drive a point home, but you've got to know when to deploy that stuff.
100%.
We got Mike Painter, Lisa Albano, Sarah Gregory, Kristen Shoemake, my mom, Wendy Holder. Thanks for getting on here. Kim Haynes. Please like, please comment, please share. If you share today, the message that we're putting out may help somebody else. It may help somebody pick a realtor. It may help them through the loan process. You never know what it's going to do. So please share. We want to help good people get to a better place, and that's what it's about, is putting out that information for you. Randy, I don't know if you saw earlier, Randy was saying congratulations. I appreciate it. It's really a team effort. I've got tons of people, support staff around me, whether it's Brenda, Kathy, my wife, Catherine. I mean, there's tons of people. I guess Dominic could be considered part of that staff too, right? Part of the team.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But we got John Milligan that just jumped on here. So the experienced agent you were just talking about.
Yeah.
He's got all of these skill sets that he's honed from the time he's been in. What are some of the negatives of working with an experienced agent? And this
a lack of hunger.
That's true.
A lack of hunger and wanting to get the deal done. They're more selective on the people they can choose, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, because with that experience means they got burnt quite a bit. Believe me, and so therefore you're a lot more selective, and then you're not willing just to work with anybody and everybody to work them through the process of getting pre-approved. That's not true for all experienced agents.
That's exactly right.
But that's a trend that tends to happen among experienced agents on there.
The experienced agent will say, we qualify people better. And maybe that's true, but it can also be a negative aspect of it too. I've heard this story before. I'm going to avoid that. And it may not be the case. I mean, it may be something that's an easy fix, and you can get through the process fast and get them what they want. But typically, experienced agents don't spend as much time with each client, and that's a fair statement.
And they're less likely to answer their phone calls.
Yes. And what I'll say about that is just make sure you use texting and calling, because
absolutely.
The hard part about being an agent and working with a lot of people is that when I'm present with someone, I want to be present with them. You would ask for the same respect.
100%.
So it's hard to constantly be answering your phone, talking to people, give them the time that they deserve. So you have to prioritize. You have to say, look, this person's in front of me. In 5 minutes, I'm going to call this person back, and then we're going to connect. But I mean, there's only 24 hours in a day. So that's what it comes down to.
Mike Jones.
Yeah, we got Mike on here.
Yes,
we got
sir.
Scout
Yes,
Alexander.
sir.
Tim jumped back on. I appreciate it. Tony Vihan, I appreciate it. He's Dan Strickland. Tony's one of my big fans now. He came over to, I think he's is it Arizona? Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's it. He came over to check out our office in Huntsville and see how we operate and things like that. And we got to show him some of the stuff in Pinnacle Landing. He really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Great.
So let's talk about the other side of that. Let's talk about a new agent, pros and cons. So what is the benefit of using a new agent?
They're hungry.
In most cases.
In most cases, yeah. You want to make sure a hungry new agent.
That's right. And the reason we want to specify that is there are agents that come in and they've got a retirement. Maybe this is a part-time gig for them, and they may not be hungry. It may be just a hobby for them. But we want a hungry new agent. Okay, go ahead.
So you get a hungry new agent who's willing to help anybody and everybody wants to go out there, and they go above and beyond to try to help people get qualified to buy a house. They're there to go and wait on them hand and foot. And you can almost say, and there's a point where they can almost be needy, which can turn into some bad aspects of it all, which an experienced agent won't deal with that issue as much. But you start off where they're really, really pushy about making sure that they get it done, making sure that they handle every single request for you. They'll go and scour and find properties all over the place to make sure to find what you want on it, because they're just getting started and they want to go in it and they want to do the best service for you. And a famous saying, and whenever someone hires someone, they always say, a new broom sweeps the best. And so that's kind of one of...
Okay. I'll agree with that in most cases.
But it's not entirely true in that sense.
One thing you've got to be careful with, though, is the framing aspect. This is an ebb and flow. There's negotiations. There's points and hurdles you've got to go over.
They're more likely to make mistakes, too.
They are more likely to make a mistake, and that's where a good broker behind them is going to help out experienced agents. But the biggest thing for me is that you've got to make sure that they have your fiduciary interest in mind.
Absolutely.
That duty that they portray, they have to make sure that this is a good deal for you, not just because they need a commission. And that's what I'm afraid of with brand new agents, because they may want the deal more than you want the deal. There may be something with a home inspection that they're saying, oh, no, that's not a big deal, we'll make sure it's okay. Or even go out and fix the stuff, which puts more liability on them. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
100%.
So you've got to be careful on that kind of stuff and make sure that the person is hungry, but they're not starving.
Absolutely. You definitely don't want someone who's quote needy. You want someone who's going to, as a new agent, wants to handle all your needs and is going to give you the attention, more attention than normal.
Absolutely.
But the most important thing for a new agent is that you lean into your broker a lot.
Absolutely.
Blow their phone up. I blew
Chris Scott, you're killing it, man. I appreciate it, brother.
I blew up my broker's phone every day. Any question I had, I didn't care. I didn't want to make a mistake, and he didn't either. He wanted to make sure that I took care of it properly. He'd rather me ask him a question.
That's exactly right.
And be right about it, or instead of talk to him and be wrong about it and then make a mistake.
Sure.
Because in the end, he's liable. He's the one who's the most liable.
So the whole point of the show today is to make sure that you please know what you're getting into. The start of the show, we started talking about a post that was put out on a Facebook group asking for recommendations. I'm glad this lady ended up calling me because I had access to the area. I kind of explained to her the situation. But you still got to be really careful, because most of those agents that were recommended didn't even have MLS access. I've never seen them sell anything in our county, much less the city that she was wanting. So you've got to be careful. Just because they have a license doesn't mean they're the right person. Doesn't mean they're the wrong person either. You interview and just make sure you do your due diligence too. And I tell people, and you can ask Tabitha Bynum or anybody that has done prospecting with me, I typically don't just ask for a sale. I ask for, please give me a shot to interview. Please let me have an opportunity to interview, because I know that the system that I have between the structure we have with Weichert, our office, the space place, and then the skills that I've honed through lots of experience, I know that I'm going to be one of the best or the best candidate for the job. Please interview. We want to make sure it's the right fit, because I'm not the right fit for everybody, and I understand that. Different areas, I'm not going to be the right fit, but I do believe that I can either direct you to the right person or I'll be the right guy for you. And Dominic, you got anything else?
I'm good, man.
All right, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Please please share. If you have a comment or you want to send us a Facebook message at the end about a guest, if you want to be on the show, give us a call or shoot us a message. We'd be glad to help. We want to help good people get to a better place. I hope you guys have a great night.